Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about Elite Gaming ROM. Now this is the free version of that ROM. The kernel that we used in yesterday's stream was a D8G version 3.7 with T1 thermals. So there was a lot of things going on in yesterday's stream. We actually did 5 to 6 Senhawk drop tests and it was a lot of fun actually, and for some reason the GPU on this kernel was stuck on some 400 megahertz. So that stream was a different story altogether, and if you haven't been watching our streams and you're a Poco F1 user, I would highly recommend you watch our streams, because more than gameplay you get statistics as to how a particular ROM on this particular device is performing when it comes to gameplay. But in this particular video we are going to look at this ROM. I will share my impressions on it and I will also share how we are going to analyze the data. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. In the description of each of my videos, you will find a link to our Telegram community, which is around 570 members right now. We are targeting 1,000 members in the month of January. So please join us there to get exclusive updates. Last but not the least, if you think the hard work on this channel is worth the effort, please click on the join button to become a member and get exclusive access to unseen content. Now, without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. So first things first, let's have a look at the ROM. Now, the developer of this ROM is Hassan Mirza. He's from Pakistan. I did message him this morning that I have a certain channel on which we focus on custom ROMs a lot, and I would like to test drive your ROM. He has told me that he would, get back to me after thinking, because I don't want to invest 500 rupees and then find out that it's not performing as expected. And that is the message I want to get across to you guys, because paid ROMs are such a rare thing, because there are very few occasions wherein you would find a paid ROM. Most of the people who do this, they do this as a freelancer. Nonetheless, this ROM overall, if you ask me, has been decent, if not amazing. I cannot, give all the credit to the performance of this ROM, or I cannot give all the blame to the performance of this ROM, because the kernel that I was using was a different one and the thermals that we were using were different. But what I can tell you about this particular combo is that we did not have much heating, okay? Although we played so this one lasted around 2 hours and 15 minutes from 96% to 5%. So we lost almost 90% battery in 2 hours and 15 minutes of gameplay. Now, thing to consider here is that we were not only gaming, we were casting the screen of this phone to the PC using Air Server, that is Wi-Fi screencast. So that does take some amount of battery and that does heat up the phone a little bit as well. Now, if you ask me what is there in this particular ROM, this is a typical MIUI based custom ROM which has all the goodies from MIUI 12 betas, 12.5, some stuff here and there. You have the new charging animation. Overall, this is very, very smooth. If you're watching this video from a daily driver point of view, I can definitely tell you, if you like MIUI, if you want to stay on MIUI and you have an unlocked bootloader, go ahead and flash this, because this is not laggy, this is not stuttery like MIUI 12.0.2 stock. Okay, that is something I can tell you. Apart from this, if you go say to the camera application, see, this is the first time I've opened the camera application. Again, this is something I did mention in yesterday's video as well, that people who buy phones, 80% of the users, they use the camera on very, very rare occasions. Now, you do see over here, if you go to more, you have like a few options like night mode and all the other things. So the camera is the default MIUI camera. That is a benefit that you get when you go to a ROM which is based on MIUI. And apart from this, talking about the kernel, this is the D8G kernel and it has this particular manager application. I have flashed Magisk on this ROM, so you do have a host of options over here. To be very, very honest, before actually going live on the stream, I haven't even gone ahead and explored all of this. So what we are going to do today is, after we flash today's live, so today's live stream is something I would like to announce in this video itself. You would have probably seen the schedule post already, but we are going to use Android 11 AEX 11, that is AOSP extended 11, and Seh Station kernel, that is the latest version. Now what is special about this particular ROM and kernel combo is that this ROM is compiled by the kernel developer himself. That is the reason we're going to use the unofficial build. Now what that does is, when you build a ROM around a kernel, you have much more control on the thermals and all the other things. So again, today's suggestion is from Elite, so if you want to blame him. Just kidding there. Anyways, we were talking about the kernel manager application. Now you do see over here you have overall, device, memory, all the build prop info, and then you have the CPU frequency. You can make changes and set it on boot. At the same time, something that is interesting over here is you do have profile option as well when you go to performance profile, and when you reboot, it is there on the balanced profile by default. You do have something called as Gaming Plus, and if you go to the GPU section over here, you see just now it was at 820 megahertz. I don't know why it was at 820, but in yesterday's stream we struggled to get it to the top 820 megahertz, and the lowest FPS we got was around 30 to 32 in the Sanhok bootcamp test. So that, according to me, is not great. Now what I will share over here about the gameplay is that even if your phone goes to 35 or 38 FPS, it's fine. People who are PC gamers will know that games, even if they run at 30 FPS and they are not lagging or stuttering, you can still play them. Especially in competitive games like PUBG Mobile, even if you go as low as 30 FPS and the game is running smooth, it's completely fine. But on a 60 Hz display, if you're going to give me 35 FPS and lag like crazy, like it was jagged, it was jittering left, right and center. Like I shot 3 to 4 bullets from the S12K and the guy was in front of me and I couldn't connect. That is how laggy it was in Sanhok bootcamp yesterday. But overall, if you ask me, if you're not a competitive player, if you're not, obviously you're not going to land in bootcamp in each and every match. If you are someone who wants to play PUBG like 1 or 2 hours a day, this is a very, very good ROM, or rather this is a very, very good combination. If MIUI is the only option you have and you cannot make do with custom ROMs, I would suggest go ahead and give this a try. Again, this is the free version of Elite ROM. The link is mentioned in the description, and the kernel is 3.7 dark with T1 thermals. You can use other thermals, and I'll quickly also state the installation procedure. You have to first wipe everything, then flash the ROM, then flash the kernel. In the kernel installation menu, you will get some options, so choose accordingly using the volume keys. Don't use the thermals from the kernel, and then flash the T1 thermals and you should be good to go. So this combo will give you decent battery life, because under hardcore gaming and streaming, if this ROM can last, if this combo can last 2 hours and 15 minutes, well, I think in a normal usage, you can have a day's usage with 1 to 2 hours of gameplay. So all in all, this is a decent ROM. We are not yet out with the graphs, the bar graphs like the previous series, because we are still finalizing on a lot of aspects as to how to monitor the data, how to gather the data, and how to present it in front of you guys. Because remember, we at Smartphone Tutorials do things in a concrete way. We don't want to give you incomplete information. So maybe today and tomorrow and a few more days will be our test runs on different setups. Once we have finalized a mechanism to go ahead and analyze and share the data with you, we will share it with the community. As well as there is some exciting announcement about a new ROM from Smartphone Tutorials. We are planning on it, we are thinking on it of compiling our own ROM and kernel. So do catch us in the live stream while we test AOSP Extended 11 with a custom kernel today at 7:30. And if you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at Smartphone Tutorials. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.